Like I've said, 5 out of the last 6 years that we've been in this position and won a regional and going to a super regional, I'm really proud of this club. I talked about it coming into this week that I thought this week we had our best week of practice that we've had all year. I thought our guys were really locked in and ready to play great baseball this weekend. And Arkansas certainly has a very, very good ball club, tremendous pitching staff, and we feel really fortunate to be the tournament winner, and we'll be looking, after we enjoy this victory and this championship, we'll turn our attention tomorrow to what we have next weekend. But I thought Brandon Waddell was spectacular tonight. He was in complete control of the game, and just did it again like all 3 of our starters did this weekend, is pitched deep into the ball game and didn't have to tax our bullpen much. And that 3rd inning is obviously huge. When you're in a regional championship game and you can score 6 runs in an inning and give yourself a comfortable lead, it allows somebody like Brandon to go out there and attack the strike zone, and did some really great things. And John Laprice, had a huge day offensively. I think he had 3 hits. You go through this weekend and you look at, there's days that, Mike Pappy had big days, and, Derek Fisher had 4 RBIs tonight. He had a big day too. There's just different guys throughout our entire lineup that everybody has confidence in, and just proud of this team that, there are huge expectations going into the season and all year long, and I'm glad that we played really great fundamental baseball this weekend to win the championship. So,
to another ACC team in the NCAA tournament, I don't think you have, and here you're going to play one in a super regional. Just, is that going to strike you as a little unusual going into it?
We'll look at it as it's another team. I know a lot will be made out of it, that, there's 2 ACC teams, with us and Maryland playing each other and them exiting the ACC and all that. But I'll tell you, Jeff, we'll address the series with Maryland in the coming days. I really just want to enjoy this regional championship, quite frankly. I can't turn the switch that quickly to start considering Maryland. I think it's important, at this level, when you accomplish what we've accomplished, to enjoy what this team has done. Our esteemed media relations director, Andy Flutterjohn, informed me that, we've been in the super regional 5 out of the last 6 years, and there's only one other team in the country that can say that. So I want to enjoy that at this point, and certainly when we meet together as a team tomorrow, we'll discuss the plans going forward against Maryland. But they certainly have proven over the last few weeks and all season that they've got a special ball club.
Brian, when you made the switch a couple weeks ago to putting Artie Friday, I know you did it from the back end, kind of from this weekend going back. How much did that pay off here when you look at their 3 performances over the week? Talking about obviously Artie, Kirby, and
well, as it turned out, it lined up pretty good. I think you all are starting to understand how we do things the last week or 2 going into the ACC tournament and NCAA tournament, how we start to try to line things up, because it's about winning the thing, right? If we didn't win this regional, we'd all be sitting here and the mood would be different, and it'd be I can say you feel like you failed, right? And unfortunately, that's the level that this program's about. So, our responsibility as coaches are to line this thing up to give ourselves the best chance to win the entire weekend. And we'll do the same thing next weekend. I don't know whether that rotation will stay the same or not. We'll look at it, and a lot of it might have to do whether we're Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But those guys were tremendous. Already started it off, and I thought he was really dominant. And you can't pitch any better than Nathan Kirby pitched. And you think of Brandon Waddell pitching in the championship game. I mean, that guy was a Friday night starter last year on a team that won 50 ball games, and he's starting game 3 for you in a regional. So we're really, really fortunate, the pitching that we have. Josh Spores didn't even, factor in. And that guy's, his record might not be that impressive, but you look at his batting average against, and in our inter-squad scrimmages in the middle of this week, nobody pitched better than Josh Spores. And had we gotten to a situation tomorrow night, I believe that he would have been tremendous. So we're fortunate that we have that, quality pitching depth, and it's served us well.
Brian, as the guy that built this program, what does it mean to you to be going to your 5th and 6th year?
I'm proud. Number one, Jerry, I tell you that I'm just really proud of this club. Every club is different. Last year was a team of guys that were kind of unproven. You had those guys that were second years, and they were trying to, push it forward from the year before. This team comes in and just, has enormous expectations, and they managed it really well all year long. And to be the regional champion here and go into another super regional, I couldn't be more proud. It's just it's consistent. It speaks to the quality of players that we consistently recruit. It speaks to the consistency of our assistant coaches remaining loyal to the program. It's just I'm really, really proud. And I think in sports, when you accomplish great things, you need to enjoy it, and we'll enjoy this and then turn our attention to next weekend.
Brian, Mike works the full count, draws the walk. How big was that at bat just to kind of get things going? I think it was a pretty close pitch, it looked like you took.
Yeah, I thought it was, Mike Pappy has a very, I would call it a very advanced approach at the plate. He doesn't very often swing at pitches off the plate. And, he's aggressive, but he's got a good eye of what's a ball and a strike. And, I thought it was huge. It was, you try to get that free 90 feet and give it to the next guy. And fortunately it worked. And, we built a lot of innings. We had different opportunities, but really we, capitalized in 2 innings and gave us our 9 runs. So.
Brian, a similar question to what I asked Brandon and Nate.
Yeah.
Is it easy to overlook Mike's defense when you watch him hit, after what you just said?
I think it is, Greg. Mike Pappy's a really good athlete. That guy could play. He's played all 3 of the outfield positions during his time here. In fall baseball, Mike Pappy has played third base. He was a high school shortstop. A lot of people don't know that, and a pretty good one at that. And so you have somebody that is athletic, and he has the feet and the athleticism over at first base to, not only snag balls, that are hit hard, like a couple of them were tonight, but also the footwork that it takes around the bag and to pick balls and things like that. So, we're fortunate that, we, have such good athletes, and Mike's done a tremendous job.
Brian, you mentioned a few times just the way it was a really good week of practice and stuff like that. But are you surprised, not just the way you guys hit the ball, but just in general, like you guys almost made it look, are you surprised by how you made it look almost so easy this weekend?
Well, I had a really good feeling going into this tournament about our offensive ball club. Much was made about it nationally going into the season. And, maybe we didn't meet expectations from just an offensive standpoint, but I was fully confident as the year progressed that it would come together at some point, and I really think that it has. Just the athletes we have, the physicality of those guys is impressive, and so hopefully this is something that we can continue positive moving forward from an offensive standpoint, because you're just not going to win them all 2-1. So.
Yeah, Brian, just to kind of follow up on that, you played a lot of close games in the regular season. Given the strength of this regional in terms of RPI and other criteria, would you have expected at least one close game? You end up winning combined 22-3.
Yeah, I would have, Jeff. I certainly, let me tell you, Arkansas has a tremendous pitching staff. They do. I mean, I was hoping they didn't bring that guy back that pitched against us last night in relief, because that guy was really good. And you look at his stat sheet, and he's at the bottom of their stat sheet. They're tremendous on the mound. Let me tell you, that kid that started for them on the mound today, that guy is going to be really, really good. You watch the Major League Draft in 2 years, that guy, in my opinion, is a lock to be a first-round pick. He's got great stuff. So, Jeff, I look back, just to finish off about from an offensive standpoint, I think the ACC tournament did our offensive ball club a lot of good. And the fact that we faced 2 #1 starters, a #2 starter in Moss from North Carolina, I knew those were going to be the kind of arms we're going to have to beat in a regional and super regional and beyond. So, we were just more opportunistic this weekend than, maybe we have the majority of the season.
Obviously, you were pretty good all year, but do you feel like this team has been waiting for this stage, that some of these older guys have kind of been waiting for it a bit?
Maybe. I can tell you in the back of my mind, I've thought about that at times, throughout the season, that you maybe get frustrated that we're not quite doing it at the clip that maybe I would want. But I kept saying, well, maybe it'll all come together at some point. Maybe they were waiting for this time, Certainly they're playing well.
Obviously, you were not in a must-win situation tonight. You don't want it to go to Monday.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that from a motivational standpoint?
I told the team, Doug, I think that's a great question, because I really do, because I think a lot of, you get caught sometimes thinking, well, we always have the next day. And if you get that next day, you might be on your heels a little bit, So, I told the team going into tonight, hey, just go for it tonight, right? And they're human. You can always think that, okay, well, we always have tomorrow. And that's scary to think that way. So, I talked to them about just, quite simply, just, hey, we're going to go for it tonight. We're going to do out of the pen what we need to do to win tonight and get it over with. And they certainly responded.
Take 2 more questions. 2 more.
Brian, John obviously went over the summer and batted .400 in Wisconsin, but it wasn't a lock that he was going to have a spot coming back this year. How much did he earn that, and how much is he a weapon for you now going forward?
Oh, John Laprise is swinging the bat as hot as anybody that we have in our lineup. He was clutch tonight. The plays that he made at third base, were great. The plays Kenny Towns made the first 2 days were tremendous too. And so John Laprise is locked in. He keeps it simple at the plate, and he doesn't try to do too much. He hits righties, he hits lefties. So he's had a lot to do with our success, certainly.
When you look at that third inning, particularly some of the balls that get kicked around the infield, you had one error all weekend. And I think at this time last year, you were concerned about your fielding. Talk about your fielding.
Well, I thought our team defense this weekend, Doug, was terrific. And it's been terrific all year long. I don't know what our fielding percentage is and where it ranks in the country, but I'm sure it's very high. And, I've made mention of this before when I sit down and analyze the team and the program after every season. One thing that I pointed to after last year was I thought that we needed to get better in our infield defense. And, this is no disrespect to Brandon Cogswell, because he was a tremendous shortstop last year, but I think plugging in Pinero at shortstop, moving Cogswell, the athleticism of that middle infield, and I think Kenny Towns has gotten a lot better as a third baseman defensively from last year. And, John's doing some really good things too. And, like Greg said, the athlete that Mike Pappy is over there at first base. So you pitch like we do and throw strikes like we do and pick up the ball and throw it across the infield like we do, you got a chance every night. And that's why we've been in pretty much every ball game that we've played all year.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.